Welcome back everyone. Today we're continuing with part 2 of this series called What If Goku Was the New King of Everything? Let's aim for 350 likes on this one. Also, don't forget to leave a comment so the video can reach more people. With that said, let's begin. Instantly we are taken to an unknown place in Universe 7. Whis was on his way to his palace with Beerus after dropping off the Supreme Kaioshin on his planet. Lord Beerus, you seem a bit tense since we met the new god, Goku-sama, Whis remarked, observing his Hakaishin. How can I not be tense when our superior is a Saiyan? A Saiyan is going to, Beerus started to say but was interrupted by his angel. Excuse me for interrupting, but if I'm not mistaken, this is another one of your dreams. Oh no, excuse me, premonition, Whis said with a hint of mockery, though maintaining the calm tone characteristic of angels. Are you mocking me? Beerus asked, glaring at his angel. Not at all, Lord Beerus. It's just that your premonitions are not exactly precise, Whis replied, his calm demeanor unbroken. You'll see that I am right. This little Goku-sama, he is the Super Saiyan God, concluded Beerus, his eyes narrowing. Saiyan God form, Whis said, surprised to hear that a Saiyan could be a god. But after seeing what had happened moments ago, everything his student said made sense. You might be right in some cases, Whis conceded as they headed towards the palace of the god of destruction. What are you trying to say, that I'm never right? Beerus shouted, noticing that sometimes his master assistant mocked him. Well, let's drop this conversation. We're about to arrive, Whis said as they approached the planet of the god of destruction. The scene switches back to Zeno-sama's palace. I think it's time for me to leave, Zalama said as he was escorted to the exit. Father, do you really have to go? Asked Zeno-sama to his father, Zalama. Yes, my son, but from today you will no longer be alone, Zalama replied with a tone of happiness. Well, if that's the case, responded Zeno-sama happily. By the way, Daishinkan, before I leave, I want you to prepare my son well. I will return when he is ready. Maybe we will see each other in about 18 years. I want him to be ready to take the position of king of everything alongside my son, Zalama told the Grand Priest. It shall be done, my lord. I will wait for your return, and do not worry, I will prepare your son for his role, Daishinkan replied, kneeling before the creator of everything, as did the bodyguards of Zeno-sama. It was a pleasure to see you again, my lord, said the bodyguards of Zeno-sama and Daishinkan in chorus. The great creator of everything just smiled and disappeared among the stars. 10 years had passed. Goku was training with the Grand Priest in a room where it seemed there was nothing, yet time passed differently. A day in that room was years inside it. The entire place was an infinite space where the stars could be seen, as it was a dimension that Daishinkan-sama created to train Goku. Very well, my lord, it seems you have finally mastered Ultra Instinct. Congratulations, said the father of all angels, observing the progress of the Saiyan god. Goku's appearance had changed. His hair had turned a snow-like silver, and his onyx eyes had become silver as well. His gaze was cold, commanding respect and fear simultaneously, and he was covered by an aura that enveloped his entire body, the same color as his hair. His muscles had also increased, though it was noteworthy that at this moment, Goku had just become a teenager since he hadn't been training in that room for very long. 8 years later, Goku was playing a game with his brother, Zeno-sama, in which they destroyed planets, accompanied by their bodyguards. Although something inside him didn't like it, he knew that this was part of his life since birth and understood that he was a king who stood above all other gods. After a while, as both brothers were becoming bored, Goku had a great idea to alleviate their boredom. Hey Goku, don't you think this game is getting a bit boring? We've been playing it for several hours, asked Zeno-sama. You're right, Zen-chan, this is getting boring, Goku replied as he finished making one planet collide with another. At that moment, he decided to call the Grand Priest. Hey Daishinkan, Goku called out to the Grand Priest, who appeared before them seconds later. My lords have summoned me, said Daishinkan, bowing respectfully before the kings of everything. Do my lords require anything? Asked the Grand Priest as he bowed. Hey Daishinkan, how are the mortals from the 12 universes doing lately? Asked the little god. Universe 1 is leading as usual, Universe 12 is next with strong and rapid growth, answered the Grand Priest. I'm losing interest in watching them all, Zeno-sama exclaimed while continuing to play, pushing one planet into another. Would you like to get rid of some? Asked Daishinkan. You're right, 4 should be enough, don't you think, Goku? Asked Zeno-sama. I'm not sure. I think we shouldn't rush, Goku replied, touching his chin thoughtfully. Even better, let's erase the 8 universes with the lowest power levels, Zeno-sama exclaimed, which left the guards silent and astonished by what Zeno-sama proposed. No, I think you're rushing things. Let me personally visit the universes to see if they are doing their jobs well, said Goku, standing up from his throne. Very well, Goku. I think that's a good idea, Zeno-sama exclaimed with a smile. Sir, would you like me to accompany you, or shall I prepare an escort? Asked Daishinkan. Well, I don't think it's necessary, but if you insist, let's go, said Goku as they left the palace. I'll be waiting for you, Goku, said Zeno-sama, waving goodbye from his throne, and Goku gave a thumbs up in response. Outside the palace, Goku was surrounded by 2 bodyguards and Daishinkan, ready to visit all the universes. My lord, are you ready? Asked Daishinkan as he opened a portal for them to transport to the first universe. The scene switches to Palace of the God of Destruction of Universe 1. On the planet, 2 figures were prepared to do their duties as gods. The first was an angel with a hairstyle pointing upwards, short, obese, with violet eyes, small ears, and a chubby nose. He wore a pink God of Destruction outfit with a turquoise ribbon. His name was Awamo, master and servant of the God of Destruction of Universe 1. The second person was a short-statured individual, largely furry except for the fingers and ears, with bulging eyes and pink skin. He wore a cap and a turquoise God of Destruction outfit with a white shirt, adorned with golden ornaments. He looked similar to the god Shiva and had claws and fangs. His name was Iwen, God of Destruction of Universe 1. Hey Awamo, what do we have planned for today? The Hakushin asked his angel. Today, you are scheduled to visit planet Gamma in the northern galaxy, Awamo told his Hakushin. Just then, Goku, along with Daishinkan and his bodyguards, appeared. We have arrived, sir, said Daishinkan as they appeared in Universe 1. So this is Universe 1, said Goku, looking around at the place they were in. But if it isn't Daishinkan-sama, said Iwan, noticing his arrival on his planet and kneeling before Daishinkan. It's a pleasure to have you on my planet, Grand Priest, said Iwan, kneeling before him. It's a pleasure to see you again, Grand Priest, said Awamo, bowing respectfully. I'm also glad to see you again, but this time I am not alone. I come with the king of everything, Goku-sama, who has come to meet you, said Daishinkan as the bodyguards made way for Goku. Upon seeing Goku, Iwan and Awamo kneeled before the sign, feeling the immense power that radiated from him across the entire planet. What surprised them most was his appearance, as Goku had undergone a radical transformation. Iwan couldn't help but feel a chill at those silver eyes, sweating profusely. It's a pleasure to meet you, Goku-sama. My name is Iwan, and I am the god of destruction of this universe, said the Hakushin, still kneeling. It's a pleasure to meet you, Goku-sama. My name is Awamo, and I am the angel of this universe, added Awamo, also kneeling. It's nice to meet you, said Goku with a warm smile. I see this universe has a good level of mortality. Congratulations, he said, addressing the gods of Universe 1. Thank you very much, my lord. It's a pleasure, sir. I am at your service, said Iwan, grateful for Goku's praise. Well, it's time for us to leave, said Daishinkan-sama as they said their farewells, bowing before their superiors. It was a pleasure to meet you, Goku-sama, said Iwan, bowing deeply. Thank you for coming, sir, echoed Awamo. Finally, they disappeared from the place. Phew, that was close, said Iwan as he wiped the sweat from his forehead. I didn't think the king of everything would come to our universe, said Awamo, maintaining his calm tone. In Universe 2, at the planet of the Goddess of Destruction, there were 2 figures in the palace. One was applying makeup, as this goddess valued beauty in all things. The first figure was tall and slim, with sky blue skin, violet eyes, a small nose, and large ears. His outfit as a servant of the god of destruction was yellow, while his ribbon was dark green. His name was Sour, and he was the angel and mentor of the goddess of destruction of Universe 2. The second person was a tall, dark-skinned woman with black braided hair, wearing lipstick, green eyes, and blue eye makeup. She wore a cap with symbols of the god of destruction, a white skirt, and a blue-green ribbon. She adorned golden ornaments all over her body. Her name was Hades, and she was the goddess of destruction of Universe 2. True beauty never rests, don't you think, Sour? Asked Hellas to her angel, who just sighed in response. Well, lady, the truth is, he was interrupted by the arrival of certain gods. Oh, Lady Hellas, it seems we have visitors, said Sour, approaching his goddess. What is it, Sour? What visitors? I'm not in the mood for visitors right now, said Hellas as she continued applying her makeup. Madam, it's the Grand Priest, and it appears he's not alone, the angel informed her. Upon hearing the Grand Priest, the goddess hurriedly stood up from her seat. What? Daishinkan-sama, seriously? Let's go at once. We can't keep him waiting, said Hellas as she left her temple with Sour. Daishinkan-sama, It's a pleasure to see you, said Helles, kneeling before him. It's nice to see you as well, said Sour, bowing respectfully. It's a pleasure to see you again, exclaimed the Grand Priest with a friendly smile. What brings us the honor of your visit, my lord? Asked Helles. I have come along with the king of everything, Goku-sama, who has come to meet you personally and also to see your work as gods, Daishinkan explained. Upon hearing Goku-sama, they were surprised, remembering the little child born 18 years ago. Then Goku made his appearance along with his bodyguards, appearing in front of the gods of Universe 2. Seeing Goku, they were more than shocked to see his radical transformation into his silver-haired form. Helles, seeing Goku, was in shock since she valued beauty in people. But upon seeing Goku, she couldn't help but get lost in those silver eyes. Beautiful, was all the Hakaishin could say, unable to take her eyes off the silver-haired figure. As Goku approached, he just gave his typical smile that characterized him. It's a pleasure to meet you, my lord. My name is Sour, and I am the angel in charge of this universe, said the angel as he knelt before Goku. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Helles, and I am the goddess of destruction of this universe, stammered Helles, suddenly aware of her manner of speaking and wondering why she was talking like this, as it had never happened to her before. Why am I acting like this? I seem like a teenager, wondered Helles about her own behavior. Goku, observing the goddess's strange behavior, wondered, what's up with her, as the goddess continued to approach him. Hey, are you okay? Goku asked, his voice filled with genuine concern. You're not sick, are you? You're very red, he added, tilting his head innocently. Ah, no, I'm fine, Lord Goku, the goddess stammered, her blush deepening as Goku's curious eyes stayed fixed on her. Well, if you say so, Goku replied, though he remained a bit doubtful. His attention was then drawn to Sour, who seemed eager to change the subject. So, my lords, what brings you to Universe 2? Sour inquired, his voice respectful, but curious. Daishinkan, standing tall beside Goku, spoke with authority. The king of everything, Lord Goku, has come to meet you personally. He also wanted to see your performance as gods, he explained. Goku nodded, his expression turning serious. As I see it, this universe doesn't have much mortality. Its level is low. I only ask that you improve your level, both the Kaioshin and the gods of destruction, he stated calmly, his words carrying the weight of his new position. The gods of Universe 2 exchanged worried glances, understanding the implications if they failed to meet Goku's expectations. It will be as you command, Lord Goku, they responded in unison, bowing deeply. Satisfied, Daishinkan announced, now that everything is clear, it's time for us to leave. The group prepared to depart, their mission in Universe 2 complete. Thank you for coming. Feel free to visit whenever you want, the angel and the Hakaishin said, their voices filled with a mix of respect and relief. Goku smiled warmly. See you, he said, his friendly demeanor briefly slipping into a cold gaze that left the gods of Universe 2 in shock. We will see you soon, the goddess managed to say, watching in awe as Goku and Daishinkan vanished, leaving only a sense of their immense power behind. The scene switches to Universe 3, on the planet of the god of destruction. Here, two figures stand amidst a landscape of advanced machinery and robotic parts. One of them, a small being with pink-purple skin and two horns, was in the process of assembling his robotic limbs. This was Mule, the god of destruction, who often wore a suit resembling a mutant machine. His body was light green, and his metallic limbs gave him a formidable appearance. The lens on his head blinked red, signaling his readiness. His name was Moscow. Beside him stood a tall angel with sky-blue skin, violet eyes, pronounced ears, and a large nose. His hair was swept back, and he wore the light brown servant outfit of the god of destruction with a dark green ribbon. His staff was mint-colored, and his name was Kampahri, the angel of Universe 3, loyal servant to Moscow. Does Moscow-sama plan to be here all day? Kampahri asked, his tone a mix of curiosity and boredom. Moscow responded with a series of electronic sounds, conveying his intentions to his angel. I see, Kampahri said, nodding as he continued to keep Moscow company. Suddenly, Kampahri's staff glowed, and he looked at it intently. Moscow-sama, it appears there are some guests who have come to visit, he reported, his eyes scanning the new arrivals. Moscow communicates through a series of electronic beeps, asking who the visitors are. Kampahri's eyes widen as he checks his staff. It's the Grand Priest, and he comes with other guests, he informs Moscow. Upon hearing that the Grand Priest had arrived, Moscow hurriedly moved to greet Daishinkan, the father of all angels. As Daishinkan approached, Kampahri bowed deeply in respect. It's a pleasure to see you again, Daishinkan-sama, he said with reverence. I am glad to see you again, Daishinkan replied calmly. Moscow knelt before the Grand Priest, emitting more electronic sounds. Kampahri translated, Moscow-sama says, "It is a pleasure to have you on my planet, Grand Priest." Kampahri then turned to his father. "And tell me, what brings you here?" he asked. Daishinkan explained, "I've come along with the king of everything, Goku-sama. He wanted to see your performance as gods of Universe 3 and also wanted to meet you." Moscow buzzed and beeped, remembering Goku from previous encounters. Just then, Goku stepped forward, his presence commanding the attention of all. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Goku-sama. My name is Kampahri, and I am the angel of this universe," Kampahri said, kneeling before Goku. Goku smiled warmly. "It's nice to meet you," he said. He then turned his attention to Moscow, who continued to communicate through electronic sounds, leaving Goku puzzled. Kampahri quickly translated, "Moscow-sama says it is an honor to meet you. My name is Moscow, and I am the god of destruction of Universe 3. Goku's eyes widened in surprise. "He talks like that?" he asked, curious about the robotic god. Kampahri nodded. "If you like, I can explain," he offered. "Moscow-sama is a kind of robot, and he can only communicate with people through electronic sounds." "Oh, I see," said Goku, nodding in understanding. He then grew serious. "I've noticed that this universe doesn't have the mortality rate it should have. Its level is very low. I will only give a warning," Goku said, his gaze growing colder. Moscow, sensing the gravity of Goku's words, began to sweat, feeling the weight of Goku's presence. "I just hope that by next time the mortality level has increased, but you know what will happen," Goku stated firmly, his words sending a chill through those present. Kampahri, maintaining his composure, responded, "It will be as you command, Lord Goku." Moscow buzzed and beeped again. Kampahri translated, "Moscow-sama says your orders will be fulfilled, Lord Goku." "Very well, with all this clarified, it's time for us to leave," said Daishinkan, stepping closer to Goku and the bodyguards. Kampahri bowed deeply. "Thank you for coming, and feel free to visit whenever you like," he said. Moscow buzzed in agreement, and Kampahri translated, "Moscow-sama says it was an honor to meet you, Lord Goku, and thank you for coming." With that, Goku, Daishinkan, and their entourage disappeared, leaving Universe 3 to ponder their next steps under the watchful eye of the new king of everything. The scene switches to Universe 4, on the planet of the God of Destruction. Here, two individuals can be seen, one engrossed in a video game while the other looks on patiently. "Do you plan to be there all day, sir?" asked the angel, his tone both amused and exasperated as he watched his Hakushin play. "Don't bother me, I'm trying to win this game," replied the Hakushin, his focus unwavering. The Hakushin, Kitela, had the appearance of a yellow mouse, short but with a somewhat plump belly. He wore the green attire of the god of destruction with a dark green ribbon. Kitela was known for his cunning nature and sly grin. His companion, the angel Cognic, had a bulky build and stood quite tall. Cognic's sky-blue skin, violet eyes, and large tuft on his forehead gave him a distinctive look. He wore the wine-colored servant attire of the god of destruction, adorned with a dark green ribbon. "Ah, damn it!" Kitela exclaimed as his frustration peaked, causing him to destroy the game console with a small ball of energy. Cognic simply watched with a smile, but his expression changed suddenly when his staff alerted him to new arrivals on the planet. His eyes widened in surprise. "Kitela-sama, some guests have arrived," he announced. "Who might it be?" Kitela asked, standing up and brushing himself off. "Daishinkan-sama," Cognic replied, causing Kitela to stiffen in alarm. "What? Where? Damn, I hope he didn't see me playing," Kitela muttered, hastily leaving the palace to greet their visitors. "It's good to see you again," said Daishinkan as he descended to the ground, followed closely by Goku. "Daishinkan-sama, it's an honor to have you in Universe 4, Kitela said, kneeling respectfully. "It's a pleasure to see you again," Cognic added, bowing deeply to his father. "I've come along with the king of everything, Goku-sama, to deliver a message," Daishinkan stated, stepping aside to allow Goku, flanked by his bodyguards, to step forward. The presence of Goku, with his striking silver hair and commanding aura, left those present in awe. "It's a pleasure to meet you," Goku said, offering a half-smile. Kitela felt a wave of pressure just from the Saiyan god's presence. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Goku-sama. My name is Kitela, and I am the god of destruction of this universe," he said, kneeling before Goku. "It's an honor to meet you, sir. My name is Cognic, and I am the angel of this universe," Cognic added, also kneeling. Goku's expression turned serious. "Well, I've come to see your performance as gods, and I see that it is not satisfactory," he said bluntly. Kitela's nervousness was palpable. "I'm very sorry, my lord," he stammered, already fearing the consequences. "I only ask that you increase the morality level in this universe. It would be unfortunate if this universe were to disappear," Goku warned, his words hanging heavily in the air. "It shall be so. Your orders will be fulfilled, Goku-sama," Chiquitela promised, beginning to sweat profusely under the weight of Goku's gaze. The angel watched with a smile. "It will be as you command," she said to Goku. "Well, if that's everything, it's time for us to leave," Daishinkan said. He, Goku, and the others took flight, disappearing from the scene. "It was a pleasure to meet you, sir. You are welcome to visit whenever you like," both the god and the angel said in unison before vanishing. The scene switches to the planet of the god of destruction in Universe 5. On this planet, 2 individuals were present. One was meditating while the other kept company. The first was a god with an unusual appearance, wrinkled, short, and thin, resembling a white-beige lizard with violet eyes and blue, wrinkled lips. His hair was red and styled upward, and he had prominent facial features on his cheeks adorned with golden ornaments. He wore the attire of the god of destruction, primarily in yellow with a bronze ribbon. His name was Arak, the god of destruction of Universe 5. The second was a rather bulky and tall angel with a gray complexion and a broad nose. Her hair was pulled back, and she wore the dark green attire of a servant of the god of destruction, with a yellow ribbon. She was an angel named Kukatail. As Arak continued meditating, Kukatail's staff began to glow. She realized what was happening. "Arak-sama, it seems some guests have arrived," Kukatail said as she approached her pupil. "What's it about?" Arak asked, opening one eye. "It's Daishinkan. He has come, and they are waiting for us," Kukatail informed Arak, who immediately stood up and went to meet their visitors. "Daishinkan-sama, it's an honor to have you in my universe," Arak said, kneeling. "It's a pleasure to see you again," Kukatail said, bowing to her father. "It's also a pleasure to see you again," Daishinkan replied in his characteristically calm tone. "And tell me, what brings you to Universe 5? Arak asked the Grand Priest. "Well, I have come along with the King of Everything, Goku-sama, as he wanted to see your performance as gods," Daishinkan said as Goku approached with his bodyguards. Upon seeing Goku, they couldn't help but be surprised by his eyes, which emanated a chill and a cold gaze. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Goku-sama. My name is Arak, and I am the god of destruction of Universe 5, Arak said. "It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. My name is Kukatail, and I am the angel of Universe 5, Kukatail said, kneeling before Goku. "It's a pleasure to meet you," Goku said with a smile. "Well, you might be wondering why I am here. The reason is that I've observed the progress of this universe and honestly, I must congratulate you. This is one of the few universes with a good level of mortality," Goku told them. The Hakaishin, pleased with the praise, smiled warmly. "Thank you, Lord Goku, for your kind words," Arak said with a respectful nod. Kukatail, the angel, also smiled, pleased that their universe was one of the few with a commendable mortality level. "I only ask that you maintain your level of mortality," Goku advised the gods of Universe 5, his tone firm yet kind. "Yes, sir, as you command. Don't worry," Arak responded earnestly. "Very well, if everything is clear, we can leave," Daishinkan said, signaling their departure. "It was a pleasure to meet you, sir. You are welcome to visit any time," said both Arak and Kukatail, bowing deeply. "See you," Goku said with a friendly wave before he and the others vanished. The scene switches to the planet of the god of destruction in Universe 6. In the grand palace of the god of destruction, 2 figures were present. One was sipping from a giant glass, while the other watched on, keeping company. The first was Vados, who carried a staff like all angels. She wore a blue ring around her neck and a green robe with black chest armor adorned with yellow, orange, and white details. A red sash tied it all together, and she stood in white high heels with black soles. Vados was the angel of Universe 6. The second was a tall, robust being resembling a cat, with pointy ears and an earring in his right ear. He wore Egyptian-style clothing in red, black, and gold, with circular decorations. This was Champa, the god of destruction of Universe 6. "Don't you think it's time to avoid sugary beverages?" Vados asked, raising an eyebrow at her Hakaishin. "After all the walking we did across the planet, I think I burned off the calories from the drink," Champa retorted, grinning. Vados, unimpressed, began searching with her staff to verify his claim. "Incorrect. To compensate, you need to skip dinner and tomorrow's breakfast," she replied, her tone leaving no room for argument. "It's a pleasure to meet you," Goku said with a smile, addressing the group. "Well, you might be wondering why I'm here. The reason is that I've observed the progress of this universe, and I must say, I need to congratulate you. This is one of the few universes maintaining a good level of mortality," Goku told those present. The Hakaishin, delighted with the compliment, smiled broadly. "Thank you, Lord Goku, for your kind words," he said, pride evident in his voice. Vados also smiled, pleased with the recognition their universe had received. Champa began to sweat profusely. "I'm very sorry, sir," he stammered, fearing he might face severe consequences, especially since he was still uncertain of Goku's full capabilities. Vados, more composed, spoke up. Sir, if you like, I can explain the situation, she offered. What's happening is that Lord Champa insists on continuing with an unhealthy lifestyle, and now he has that body. I offer him balanced meals so that his physical condition doesn't interfere with his duties, but he keeps saying that my food is disgusting, which is very depressing, Vados explained, wiping away a tear. Hearing this, Goku looked at Champa with a challenging gaze. Champa, realizing this might be his end, was sweating profusely out of sheer terror. Vados, seeing how the Saiyan was defending her, touched her chest as her heart began to beat rapidly. Goku simply smiled and then began to close his eyes, which was noticed by all those present. Daishinkan approached and asked him, "Is something wrong, Goku-sama?" When Goku opened his eyes, a sparkle could be seen in them. Vados, seeing how beautifully his eyes shone, couldn't help but blush at the sight of the silver-haired man. Hearing that he was going to be fed, an even more intense gleam appeared in Goku's eyes, making Vados once again lose herself in the eyes of the silver-haired man. "Do you mean it?" Goku asked excitedly, like a child, to which the angel nodded, snapping out of her trance. Seconds later, they were all led by the beautiful angel to the kitchen. Inside, Champa was shedding tears of sadness, knowing his food was about to be devoured. A few minutes later, Vados served several dishes from Universe 6. Daishinkan-sama had recommended that if she was going to prepare a meal, she should make several dishes since Goku's appetite was legendary. Goku began to eat the first dish, and upon tasting the first bite, he simply closed his eyes, making the angel a bit nervous as she awaited his reaction. "How do you like it?" Vados asked, trying to appear calm but feeling a bit anxious. "This is delicious," exclaimed Goku with a bright smile. Vados couldn't help but smile and blush at his joyful reaction. Champa's jaw dropped as he watched the Saiyan eat. He cursed Goku in his mind but knew better than to say anything aloud, fearing erasure. After the great feast, Goku rubbed his stomach contentedly. "Thank you, Vados, you are a great cook. I don't understand how anyone can say your food is disgusting. You're the best cook in all the universes," he said, casting a pointed look at Champa. "I'm very sorry, sir," Champa muttered, bowing his head in shame. Vados felt a surge of attraction toward the Saiyan who had praised her so sincerely. Instinctively, Goku hugged Vados in gratitude, surprising her. She responded a moment later, hugging him back. Daishinkan watched in astonishment, laughing softly at his daughter's uncharacteristic behavior. "Thank you, Vados, for the meal. It was delicious," Goku said, still hugging the angel. "There's nothing to thank me for. I should be thanking you for recognizing my cooking," Vados replied, enjoying the embrace. After everything, they prepared to leave, but not before addressing Champa. "Before we go, I want to see an increase in the mortality rate. Don't neglect your duty as the god of destruction," Goku instructed, his tone firm. "It shall be, Lord Goku," Champa said, kneeling. "Very well, if everything is clear, it is time for us to leave," Daishinkan said. "Thank you for coming," Champa said, bowing respectfully. "It was a pleasure to meet you, Lord Goku. You are welcome to visit anytime," Vados said, unable to take her eyes off Goku. "We'll see each other soon," Goku replied with a smile, which Vados mirrored. Something inside her knew she would see him again. "See you later," Vados said softly. With that, they disappeared from the place. "Hey, Vados, why did you do that?" Champa asked, irritated. "Oh Lord Champa, what was I supposed to do? It would have been rude not to feed the king of everything," Vados teased. Meanwhile, with Goku, "Hey, Daishinkan," Goku spoke up. "So, what's up Lord Goku?" the Grand Priest asked. "You once told me I came from Universe 7, right?" Goku asked. "That's right, sir," Daishinkan confirmed with a smile. "Awesome, this is going to be fantastic," Goku said as they appeared on the planet of the god of destruction, Beerus.